When a powerful billionaire is accused of a crime he didn't commit, no one believes him, except one little girl. In a courtroom full of doubt and betrayal, this 8-year-old hero rises with nothing but her courage and a notebook. Watch how her fearless heart and sharp mind uncover the truth no adult could see and save a man's life. The courtroom was heavy with tension. You could feel it in the air, like the calm before a storm. People whispered quietly, their eyes glued to the front where the judge sat, waiting for the next moment to unfold. Then suddenly, the defense attorney, Mr. Michael Carson, walked forward. His polished shoes clicked sharply on the marble floor, echoing through the silent room. He closed his briefcase with a snap and announced clearly, "Your Honor, I withdraw from representing Mr. Ethan Reed." Effective immediately. Gasps filled the room like waves. Cameras flashed, and reporters scrambled to capture the shock. At the defendant's table sat Ethan Reed, once a shining star in the tech world, known by many as the people's billionaire. But now, his expensive suit was wrinkled, his eyes tired and hollow, and his hands cuffed tightly in his lap. Only 6 months earlier, Ethan had been celebrated everywhere. Magazines praised him for creating an app that connected young people from poor neighborhoods to jobs and hope. Now, those same magazines called him a criminal. Headlines screamed, "Billionaire turned violent," and "The fall of Ethan Reed." The charges were serious: aggravated assault and attempted murder. The prosecutors said Ethan attacked his business rival, Victor Hale, in a dark warehouse, leaving Victor fighting for his life. The evidence seemed ironclad. Security cameras showed a car rented in Ethan's name near the warehouse. His phone had pinged towers close by. And worst of all, police found $50,000 in cash hidden in his office, a sum Ethan couldn't explain. People whispered in disbelief, convinced he was guilty. But then, from the third row, a small, clear voice rang out, "I can defend him." All eyes turned. There she was, a tiny girl with colorful beads in her braids, sitting stiffly on the edge of her chair. She looked no older than 8, her feet barely touching the floor. "Order in the court," the judge said, surprised but firm. "Young lady, this isn't a playground. What's your name?" "Amara Johnson," she replied, steady and confident. "I'm 8 years old, and I know Ethan Reed didn't do this." A few chuckles broke out, but Amara didn't back down. She stood up, smoothing her second-hand dress, and walked to the front like she belonged there. "Your Honor," Amara said, pulling a worn notebook from her backpack, "I've read everything I could find about this case, and the timeline doesn't add up." She flipped open the notebook, filled with sticky notes and scribbles. Ethan's flight from the airport didn't land until 12:17 a.m. But the attack happened before midnight. The warehouse is 40 minutes from the airport. There's no way he could have been there on time. The prosecutor jumped up, shocked. "This is ridiculous. We can't have children interfering in court." The judge held up his hand. "Let her speak." Amara's voice grew stronger. Also, Victor Hale's company was about to lose a $20 million contract to Ethan's firm. If Ethan was convicted, Hale would get the contract back, saving his failing business. She pointed to a highlighted article. "Look here, 2 days after Ethan's arrest, the contract suddenly went back to Hale Industries." The courtroom buzzed with excitement and doubt. The judge called for a recess. In the quiet holding room, Ethan stared at the cold walls. He thought about Amara's words. This little girl believed in him more than his own lawyers ever had. The door creaked open. There was Amara, notebook held tight. "Why?" Ethan's voice was soft and raw. "Why help someone you don't even know?" Amara swung her legs. "My brother Malik was in your program. You gave him a laptop when we had nothing. They said he was just another lost kid when he died. But I'm listening now. I want to help." Far away, Trevor Maddox watched the news, his smile fading. His plan to frame Ethan was flawless. Plant fake evidence, fake the phone data, make sure Ethan took the fall. That night, Trevor visited Ethan's cell. Sure, no cameras were watching. "You always thought you had to save everyone," he sneered. "Guess you even made little fans. But this ends tomorrow. I'm going to Cabo while you rot here." Meanwhile, in her grandmother's tiny apartment, Amara studied her notes by flashlight. Something didn't feel right. And then she saw it. A Starbucks cup in a background photo from the warehouse with a timestamp. The receipt said 11:48 p.m. But Trevor claimed he was in Chicago at that time. Amara smiled. She had found the clue that could change everything. Morning lights spilled into the courtroom as everyone settled back into their seats. The tension was thick again, but this time, something different buzzed in the air: hope. Before the prosecutor could begin, Amara stepped forward with quiet confidence. She placed a photo on the judge's bench. The image showed the warehouse from a news article. But in the corner, a small Starbucks cup was visible with a clear timestamp. "Your Honor," Amara said, her voice steady, "this photo proves that Trevor Maddox's alibi is a lie. The receipt shows a purchase at 11:48 p.m., but Maddox said he was in Chicago at that time." The judge examined the evidence carefully, his eyes narrowing. The prosecutor's confident expression faded as murmurs rippled through the courtroom. "It appears," the judge said slowly, "that we have been misled." Within hours, the truth began to unravel. Investigators found proof that Trevor had cloned Ethan's phone, doctored the security footage, and planted the cash in Ethan's office. Trevor Maddox was arrested at the airport, trying to flee to Mexico. His carefully crafted plan to destroy Ethan and steal millions collapsed like a house of cards. Ethan Reed was freed. The handcuffs were removed, and for the first time in weeks, he took a deep breath of real freedom. But the biggest surprise was Amara, the little girl who had dared to stand up and fight for justice. News outlets called her a hero, a champion of truth, the girl who outsmarted the system. Weeks later, in a small kitchen filled with laughter and the warm smell of dinner, Ethan sat across from Amara. He smiled and handed her a gift, a brand new notebook, its cover embossed with golden letters spelling her name. "For law school," Ethan said with a wink. Amara's eyes sparkled as she flipped through the crisp pages. "Better watch out, Mr. Billionaire," she teased. "Next time you need saving, my rates go up." They both laughed, the kind of laughter that comes from knowing a battle was won together. On the television, silent footage showed Trevor's arrest, the headline scrolling beneath read, "Truth wins, thanks to an 8-year-old's homework." And in that small kitchen, hope and justice felt alive again. All because one brave little girl refused to be ignored.